Well, here's today's question we're answering. My mother put my name on her bank account in her house as a co-owner before she passed away. She's gone now, but my brothers both tell me I need to split the money three ways, as my mom's will says. But the lawyer told me the money is all mine, and that seems wrong. So what should I do? We'll break it down next. Welcome into Complete Estate Planning. Ben George with Nick Rosenbauer. He is an estate planning attorney in the Rosenbauer law office there in Westchester, Ohio. So, Nick, today's question again is one that, we've kind of touched on some situations like this and why you plan a certain way, but this is one of the things that could go wrong if you don't get your plan in order. So, take me through how you would answer this and how, for this person that's in this situation where they had the house in their name, but now their brothers want to split it, how do you take care of this?
Well, I'm going to be up front here, and this is what I tell my clients. I will say, I will tell you legally what that answer is.
Okay. But
that may not morally or ethically be the right answer.
Right.
Okay. But when I'm working with people, and they're hiring me, it is my job to, give it to them straight. So, and I think we've talked about this on episodes. It's not ideal. But people do it. Okay. So you need to be aware of this possibly happening, if it's one of your parents, and I'm assuming when they do this, people will put a child on as a co-owner, basically as kind of a shortcut estate plan to try and make things easier. Their heart's in the right place, even if they don't want to, get a real estate plan put together. And then for bank accounts, a lot of that's for convenience. It's basically a cut rate power of attorney, and they want their child to be able to make decisions or sign checks for them. And then the person at the bank will usually say, well, it's not ideal, but why don't you just put them on as a co-owner? So that's where this happens. Now, it depends on how they are on specifically for bank accounts. If you are a co-signer or a authorized user or have check writing privileges but are not a co-owner, then everything I'm about to say does not apply, because that does not put you on as a co-owner. I'm specifically referring to as a co-owner. So technically, if you have, you and mom are co-owners on this and one of you passes away, it is all yours. Okay. It'd be just like, Ben, if you and your wife have a bank account together and something happens to one of you, the other one gets to keep it. Right. So in most instances, by law, and you got to be careful, check with an attorney to review the situation, because it's not always the case, but the vast majority of the times, that money, that house legally is all yours. You do not need to share it. And I saw here they wrote in the question that seems wrong, and I think you're probably right. But what I tell people is legally that is all yours. That is no longer part of your mom's assets or your mom's estate or inheritance that needs to be divvied up. That is your money. It is as if on her deathbed she say, I am giving this to you, end of story. So legally, you are not required to share it with anyone. And again, the attorney, if so, it sounds like the lawyer told them that that's the right answer legally. But it sounds like you think, and probably rightfully so, that, if mom wanted all three of you to inherit equally, I'm assuming like if you could, ask mom, she would probably say, yeah, that should be split three ways as well. So I tell people legally that money is yours. It is not technically part of your mom's inheritance. You are not required to share it with anyone. But ethically, you may be sitting here saying, but that was mom. She would want me to split it three ways. And you are allowed to do that. But that is your call and your call alone. I will say the vast majority of the time, the person will use that money to pay all the bills, like final expenses, funeral, burial, court costs, legal fees, what have you. And then whatever's left, if they're doing the right thing, they will usually, if the house sells for $300,000, they'll usually hand each of their siblings $100,000 for their portion.
So I guess on the other side of this, Nick, what's the main thing you need to do to avoid this situation? We don't have to get into it detail. I know we have some videos about that, but just a quick reminder on what you can do to help avoid this situation.
Well, and again, it seems like, a comment we recycle all the time, but talk to a specialist to make sure, mom should have talked to a specialist to get her estate plan put together and talk to them about what needs to be done to make sure that when she passes away, the inheritance works properly, and we can avoid or minimize issues or probate after she passes. But also, what's the right way to do it? So just be careful about that and really beware of shortcuts.
Yeah, that's always so important. So again, if you want to build that estate plan, you want to make sure you have everything in order to avoid these kind of situations, or at least to be aware of what might happen if your estate's set up a certain way. CincinnatiEstatePlan.com, best place to start. You can schedule a call with Nick right there through the website. Again, CincinnatiEstatePlan.com. Also, leave us a comment. If you have a question, if there's a specific scenario that maybe you don't want to follow quite yet with Nick about, leave a comment here on YouTube for us. And if you're not on YouTube, come over there and we'll try to answer that in the future. Or at least Nick can be aware of it, maybe reach out to you specifically. But we're all going to feature, I know, a question coming up here on a future video. So that's still to come. So leave one for us if you haven't already. All right, Nick, thanks for kind of breaking this down in a specific situation, but one I know that pops up a lot with people. So we want you to be aware. We appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll catch you next time.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by estate planning? The process can seem complex, but it doesn't have to be. The Rosenbauer Law Office is dedicated to helping you protect what matters most: your family, your assets, and your peace of mind. Nick and the team will guide you through every step of the process, making sure you feel confident and informed along the way. Take the first step toward peace of mind today. Schedule an introductory call by clicking the link in the description of today's show.
This show is for informational purposes only and does not provide any legal advice. Information on this show may not constitute the most up-to-date legal information. Please do not act or refrain from acting based solely on anything you hear on this show. This show does not form any attorney-client relationship with the Rosenbauer Law Office, LLC. Please seek the counsel of a qualified attorney before addressing your own estate planning needs.